Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another Spooktober episode of We Watch Shudder. My name is JD. Who's here with me?
It's Michelle, and I almost yawned.
Wake up, Michelle. Wake up.
I'm awake. Wake up, grab a brush and put on a little makeup.
Yeah, we got 2 of these we gotta do, and then we're done.
I'm so awake. I'm ready.
Finally.
I'm amped. This is the most awake I've ever felt in my entire life.
Life became such a thing that we ended up having. It's Monday, October 28th, as we record this. This is going to drop on Wednesday. And then we got another one dropping on Halloween. Never doing this again, Michelle.
We are doing Spooktober again, but we are never recording a Spooktober episode in Spooktober. I am dying.
We will always, for the rest of time, be done. I think we should start working on next Spooktober as soon as you're done with all of your crazy stuff. Michelle does all this insane volunteer work for this awesome silent auction. If you're on our social media, you've seen it. But she, I don't know where she finds the energy or the time or the motivation, but it's she's been running like a crazy person. I find the
motivation. The time and the energy is the part that is sometimes at odds with the rest of me.
That's fair. The time, that's the hardest part, I imagine.
My weekend, Saturday and Sunday, 25 hours at the prep building. So 25 hours out of 48 hours I was working.
Prepping.
For free, because we're volunteers.
Like baskets of items that will be sold in the silent auction. How many auction item packages have you been overseeing this year, Michelle?
Our current total is 656 baskets.
Holy
and
shit.
90% of that is more than one item. Quite a few of them, especially the dog baskets, you'll have like 20 items because it's 3 collars and 2 bags of this specific treat and a dog bed. And my job is to look at the basket and go through and one by one put enough information into the basket description that people know specifically what treats. What size is this t-shirt? What are the dimensions of this painting? What is the medium of this painting? What's the brand of this other thing? That is my job. And I spent 25 hours out of 48 hours doing it. And that was just during the weekend. I literally just got home 40 minutes before we started recording today.
On top of everything that she already always does and all the crazy movies that she's real, and we've been talking, I know she's real bummed out about her totals coming up this month.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about that more in the Michelle in Review. We're here for Spooktober. Yeah. We got 2 left. Yes, we got this one and the next one. What is this one, Michelle? Tell everybody what we're talking about today.
This is/was Spaced Invaders.
Spaced Invaders, yes. Yes.
Spaced Invaders.
Spaced Invaders.
Invaders.
1990.
Yep.
1990, Spaced Invaders.
JD,
Michelle,
have you seen this movie before?
Only about 1 million times. I adore this movie. I saw this movie in the theater in 1990. I was a small boy in a small town called Mott, North Dakota. I'm pretty sure it was the last movie I saw in a theater in Mott, North Dakota, before I moved back to Jamestown, North Dakota. I have seen it on home video and streaming and DVD and all the mediums so many times. I'm not even waiting for the Descrippy script. I'm just going to get it out of the way. Look, this is a 5-skull movie for me. It is a lifetime favorite. And really what we're here to do is find out if mine and Michelle's friendship is going to survive the things she is about to say. Michelle, had you ever seen Spaced Invaders?
I did not think I had, but there were certain parts where my brain tickled a little bit and said, you saw this as a kid.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. And I was like, I think I remember this very, very vaguely.
That's fair. Mm-hmm. So that's what we're talking about today. It takes place on Halloween. and that's why we're talking about it. Michelle, I'm clearly just giddy to get into this discussion. You want to give folks the Descripy script from IMDb?
Sure. The Descripy script from IMDb for Space Ed Invaders. Dim-witted Martians drop into a little Illinois town on the day that the local radio station happens to rebroadcast Orson Welles' 1938 War of the Worlds. Spaced Invaders, 1990, PG, 1 hour, 40 minutes. JD.
Yeah, I told you, 5 skulls.
I mean,
It's
you kind of, yeah,
it's hilarious. I love this movie. It cracks me up. It's so fun. It's so quotable. Just a rad good time. Silly, ridiculous. But again, for me, after all this time, still holds up. I'm not an idiot, right? I know the nostalgia connection is a big part of that. But I just watched this movie with my mom the other day, and she laughed her ass off, and I laughed my ass off. I think this movie totally holds up. It's silly and ridiculous, and everybody should see it. Michelle.
Yep.
I'm so nervous right now. I don't even, and this is not entirely uncommon, but I don't even have Michelle up on my screen right now because I'm so nervous as to how this is going to go. But, okay, Michelle.
Yeah.
Please share with me your spoiler-free thoughts on Spaced Invaders.
I will if you promise not to be mad at me.
Oh, God, I can't make that promise, Michelle. I can't be in control of my emotions.
I was very worried because Ernest Scared Stupid, I gave a 1, and you did not like that. And then you said that because I didn't like Ernest Scared Stupid, you were concerned about how I would feel about Spaced Invaders because it was similar humor. Here's what I can say. I did not find it funny. I did not laugh at all, but I still liked it. The comedy did not work for me, but it also wasn't bad comedy. It's just I'm starting to realize that despite being a very jokey person, I just might not like comedic movies very much. Which is funny because like I joke constantly, and like my friends and I, like, we were all yucksters, and like a lot of them did stand-up comedy, like you, for example. But yet I watch a comedic movie and I'm like, meh, about the comedy part. But that said, there's a lot of stuff that I did actually enjoy about this, and I didn't even care that the comedy wasn't hitting. The alien design, really cool. The
rad.
voice actors, they actually hired actual voice actors who I think did so much of what was good because they're people who know, you know, they know how to do voices. They didn't just find a Chris Pratt and make him a Mario. They found somebody who can transform their voice into something that an alien would sound like. I thought the kids were actually kind of adorable. I especially like the duck boy. The duck boy was very silly. And then the girl was from Jurassic Park, and that blew my mind because I don't know if I've ever seen her in anything else ever before. But I've seen Jurassic Park a lot. The story was very interesting. It's well acted. So overall, even though the comedy element was missing for me, and comedy is very subjective, I'm going with a 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5 for Michelle. Why does that feel like you're politicking me, Michelle? Why does
that mean?
I don't know.
What does politicking mean?
I don't know. I don't know.
I hate politics.
You didn't give it a 5. You didn't give it a glowing 5-skull review, and now I'm suspicious that you're just trying to stop me from yelling at you.
No, I really did. I like the aliens a lot. I think they're very cute and kind of funny, and they remind me of I find them kind of funny. The things they were saying were not funny, but their design is funny, and I thought they had the face of like that Grumpy Toad meme, and I'm a huge fan of the Grumpy Toad meme.
What is that? Okay, I can't get into the lines until we get into the spoiler section, but I don't know I'm just thinking about them in my head, and it's making me laugh. It's all right. So 3 skulls from Michelle, 5 skulls from me. That's a 4 skull average. Spaced Invaders. If you've never seen it, first of all, shame on you. Get your act together. Go watch it. But we're going to get into some spoilers now. And the way that starts is Michelle now has the pleasure of summarizing the plot for those of you who haven't seen and for some reason have no intention of seeing this 5 skull classic of a film.
I have been awake for 16 hours. And this was one of the first things I watched when I woke up.
So you just saw this earlier today?
Yeah.
All right,
I watched it this morning. I got up at 6 a.m. so that I could watch this movie because I knew that we had to record it, and I knew I would not have time if any other part of my day began. So this was the first thing. I watched Space Invaders at 6 a.m. Okay, there's some Martians, aka some aliens, and they are battling somebody or something or someone someplace. And then on Earth in America, there's a guy who's like, I'm going to replay Orson Welles' War of the Worlds, which is a silly thing to do because then the Martians hear it. If you're not familiar with the War of the Worlds, it's Orson Welles did like a whole reading and people thought that aliens were actually invading because it was the 30s and they did not have the internet. So they could not find out like who's on Instagram. Are they posting pictures of the aliens? And why is this not a trending hashtag on Twitter? They couldn't do that in the 30s. So the Martians, they hear this though, and they think that the aliens are actually invading Earth. So they land or something. Either way, they wind up there. It's Halloween, and people think that they are dressed up in really cool costumes. And then at the end, they go home. The end. Spaced Invaders.
What? Okay.
They leave. That's the end.
Really?
That's the important
Michelle?
stuff. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's some kids in it. One is dressed like a duck and the other one is dressed like what did the duck say that she was like the scariest thing imaginable or something?
She's an alien.
Yeah, but the little boy, the duck boy, he says something like, how did someone like you come up with something so unimaginably scary or something like that? And I like that line.
Okay, so there's these Martians and the Martian Intergalactic Atomic Space Navy. It's not exactly right. Atomic Space Navy is the important part. Are supposed to be going to Arcturus. They catch the War of the Worlds. They think they're going to Earth. They get there. Everything's going haywire. Meanwhile, there's this guy, I forget his name, but then he's got a daughter named Kathy, and he's the sheriff there. And their mom's dead. She's gone. Something happened. She's out of the picture. So it's just the girl and the dad. And then this old farmer, Mr. Wrenchmuller, comes into town, and as he's going up to the farmer's trust because they're trying to steal his farm, and he's got his fucking shotgun that he gets out of his truck, and the sheriff walks up to him, and he's like, hey, old-timer. And the guy just says something, and I don't even remember the setups. I remember the punchlines. He says, what you doing there? Or you got a problem? And he turns and he says, nothing these 2 barrels can't solve. And it's the funniest goddamn thing in the world. How does that not make you laugh, Michelle? Look, I didn't do a good job describing it.
I'm tired of angry white men.
I mean, that's fair. But so, Wrenchmuller's farm is going to be taken away by the asshole at the Farmers Trust. And now they got to try to figure out how to stop that from happening. Meanwhile, it's Halloween, and Kathy goes out trick-or-treating, and she meets the duck boy, and they go out trick-or-treating, and they run into the... Look, guys, I'm not going to sit here and do this. Michelle does this. I don't do this. I'm not good at it. Fucking look.
I think I summed it up perfectly.
Let's talk about how fucking quotable this movie is. Again, nothing these 2 barrels can solve. They crash land and they're like, "What's going on?" And he's like, "Well, let's see. We got a torqued out Digiframus. Our Mega Spaz redundancy pile is on the blip, and I think we bruised our boo boo." Nothing, Michelle? Prepare to die, Earth scum. Prepare to die, Earth scum. I'm going to make sure they carve that on your tombstone. We got to go out to the Wrenchmuller farm. Where do you guys grow your Wrenchmullers? Michelle, this is classic shit.
Okay, JD, I have an idea.
What?
You didn't like my summary very much, I can tell.
No.
And I did not like the comedy in this movie very much. Here's the problem, or the idea, or the solution, depending. How about you quote every movie that you can think of in order?
every line.
Because you're kind of already doing it.
No, this movie's a lot of fun moments in it. Okay, so one thing I did want to talk to you about before I forget, and then I'll go off on my spiel about how I love this movie and how I love how it works in the War of the Worlds and that whole thing. Anyway, so you and I, long time back, did an episode about a movie called I Had a Bloody Good Time at House Harker. We interviewed a fellow by the name of Derek Haugen, friend
Derek
of the podcast.
Haugen.
What up, Derek? Did I just call him Derek? I don't know why. Anyway, well, you said shout out, and I was in the middle of a headspace. Anyway, Michelle, you remember the tall brother? I'm 100% certain that the enslaved gas station attendant from this movie is what that dude is supposed to be in that movie, or at least his costume is a direct nod to this. Do you not see what I'm talking about?
You had mentioned this before I saw the movie, and I did plan on watching this and then rewatching I Had a Bloody Good Time at House Harker, because it has been a while since I saw it. I saw it the one time, and I probably need to rewatch it anyway.
The Vern droid.
And now I was going to keep an eye out. But I don't remember things forever like you do. I wish I did. I'm the opposite. I have a memory disorder.
It's fair. No, this movie is a real good time. I definitely understand that if you were not there for it when it first happened, it might not resonate as much. It's a silly, fucking dopey kind of humor that just makes me giggle, and it reminds me of a better, well, I don't know, I don't want to say reminds me of a better time. That's some dumb shit to say. I love the way this anchors itself in the Orson Welles' War of the Worlds, and how it's both these Martians misunderstanding what the hell is going on, and then it's also like a legitimate Martian invasion because of a fake Martian invasion. I love that. There's so much about this that I just find really, really fun. I'm not doing a good job of explaining it. You just have to see it. It's either going to work for you or it's not going to work for you. But I fucking adore this movie. And frankly, I'm a little sad that it didn't win you over, Michelle.
But I liked it.
Do you have any?
I just don't find it funny.
Do you have? Well, that's you're missing the point then.
I wish I understood it. Yeah.
I'm missing the point. What does that even have to do with finding it funny? Nothing at all. Like, if you understood the film, you would clearly find it funny. Yeah, I don't know.
I understood the humor. I see what they were doing and why it was a punchline. Yep. I
just can't muster the faux rage that I presented during the Ernest Scared Stupid episode.
That's
do you
because
have?
I really, really did not like Ernest Scared Stupid.
Yeah,
this
well, that's fair.
But yeah. Ernest Scared Stupid was.
Tell me about some of the things you did like. What were some of your favorite moments in this film, Michelle? What did you think of the giant farm monster?
Really,
or like the giant farm robot?
The thing I liked was just the aliens. I like them. I like them a lot. I think their faces are kind of like cute, but also funny in like a nice way. They were kind of adorable, like the Grumpy Frog. And I like the voice actors, which I had tried looking up, like, what other things have these people done? But voice actors, they have like 1 million credits and it's difficult. But I was like, that guy did a voice in the video game Toomba, which I have 100%ed several times, as well as Toomba 2. one of my favorite games of all time. The first Toomba, second Toomba is also good. But one was the voice from that. Another one I was like, oh, he's done a lot of Nickelodeon shows. I know this voice. And I am just a huge fan of voice acting in general. I've watched documentaries about it. I think it's so cool the way that people can completely transform into a different person creature thing or an alien that landed on the wrong planet. All of that's really neat to me. So the voice acting in particular, I found very what's the word? I don't know. I just liked it. I liked it. I thought the conflicts were interesting because it wasn't just aliens versus humans. It was old grumpy guy versus sheriff, and then cop versus aliens because he was trying to give them a speeding ticket, and the big guy at the end versus the angry old guy who gets tricked. So like all those different conflicts and like sub stories going on. Oh, I like the cute little guy that the girl befriends. I like him a whole lot. I like a little BB robot. Give me like an R2D2 or a BB-8, and that guy, I like him. I like the similarities between this and Spaceballs, which is a movie I actually really like.
What?
So I really like Spaceballs. This is what I mean. Like, I don't understand why the comedy didn't work. I think part of it is because I was so scared going into it that I couldn't just let myself laugh, give out a little haha. Because I knew you did not like that I did not like.
So now you're gonna put this back on me.
I'm putting it back on myself and my inability to be authentic.
Make it my
I can't
fault
just enjoy comedy
for pressuring you too much.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I can blame you too, I guess. If you really want me to, I can say it's your fault that I didn't like Space Invaders, if that's what you really want.
I mean, clearly it is what I want. No, it's fine.
Damn.
It is a brilliant example, honestly, of the power of nostalgia, because it is a silly film, right? It's ridiculous. It's goofy. But it does bring me to something that I did want to mention, because I was looking back, because I know that this was not like a critically well-received film. Surprise. But I found specifically Roger Ebert's review of the film, and I had a quote from it, and I'm trying to find it.
It was on your profile unless you deleted it.
Yeah, I'm going back to try and find it. I think there it is. I found it. And so, like, this is the quote. Excuse me just one moment. This is the quote. And this is from Roger Ebert's review, and this is what it says. It says, "So maybe I've lost touch with silly, brainless entertainments like this. Let's hope so. One of the purposes of growing up and getting an education is to learn why movies like Space Invaders, i.e. silly, brainless entertainments, are a waste of time. And frankly, this is why I don't even want anybody to call me a movie critic. This is the saddest fucking thing I think I've seen in a long time. Like, how dreary must your life be if you can't find, like, I'm not saying this is going to be the one that does it for everybody, but, like, that idea that you can see no value in just connecting with silly, brainless entertainments, even through a nostalgic lens. Like he talks in his review about, like, oh, I can see how, like, a 10-year-old might enjoy this movie, as if the fact that it's only enjoyable by 10-year-olds would mean anything about its quality whatsoever. But this is the kind of silly fun and nostalgia that I hope everybody at least has something in their background. And I know, Michelle, you have tons of things like this. But this, for me, is just such a crucial, important movie, and it reminds me of so many good, fun things, and it's something that I go back to on a regular basis to just chill out and have fucking fun for a little while. Do you have anything that jumps out in your brain specifically right away, Michelle, that's like a similar thing for you from your childhood?
Well, first off, I want to talk about the Roger Ebert thing because I think it's interesting that a film critic would put out that as a review, making it seem like he doesn't understand the benefit of watching a movie purely for entertainment purposes. Like he's like, "Oh, it's a waste of time because it's mindless and it just like makes you laugh. And what's the point?" And it's like because movies are supposed to be about entertainment, and that like do you think you have to get something out of every movie you watch? And it's just odd coming from a guy who he purely watches movies and reviews them. He doesn't see the value of mindless entertainment sometimes. But yeah, for me, I'm trying to think.
I know I kind of put you on the spot there. There's something that I
No,
should
it's
have
okay.
prepared you for.
I'm picturing one right now, but I cannot remember the name of it. Oh, Happily Ever After. That's it.
Okay.
There's a movie called Happily Ever After that I will be buying on DVD. But I think everywhere I've seen it, it's been expensive every time I've looked. But it's about Snow White, and she befriends 7 dwarves, but they are girls. And the other 7 dwarves, the boys, are captured or something like that. So it's all like, it's basically like a female, like Snow White is the hero, and she's accompanied by 7 different female dwarves, and they all have like fun personalities. And I fucking love that movie, and I will watch it over and over and over again. That was one that I definitely like watched on repeat, and I'm actually now thinking, I'm like, fuck, I have to go buy this again. It's available to, let's see, it says Amazon rent or buy. Yeah, you're still $25. I might buy it anyway. I fucking love that movie. It's so good. So that one, and then Once Upon a Forest is another one, which is funny because it's also like one of the darkest children's movies that I think I really enjoy, because it's about a family of rodents that get displaced after a farmer like destroys their home or something. It's been a while since I saw it, and it's about them like trying to find like a new place to live or something, and it's depressing as fuck, but it's one of those that I also really really enjoy. There's a lot that like I think it would be the equivalent of this, where like but all of my stuff now I'm thinking is not like dumb comedy stuff. I
No,
like,
that's okay.
yeah.
Yeah, there's
different things, I
there
guess.
is a certain amount of me, a certain amount for me of appeal in just the kind of silliness at play here. The fact that it's obviously like about, it's kind of a sci-fi bent, but Martians come to Earth accidentally, start raising. They cook a fucking silo full of corn into popcorn. The guy's like, "Oh, cool, I got a crop I can sign over," and then they go back to see the crop, and it's these fucking gigantic mutant green beans or soybeans or something that you're never gonna be able to explain, let alone sell at the market. This fucking giant tractor irrigator fucking farm robot. It's just like, this movie would have been so what they call now toyetic. Like, I'm honestly surprised that there aren't more, and it's probably because the movie wasn't such a well-received thing at the time, but this would have been so full of toys, right? All the different aliens. You could have got the little robot guy, various other action figures. You got Mr. Wrenchmuller with his shotgun, and the oh Jesus, what was the dude's name? The bad guy, Klembecker. That was his name. Klembecker. See, fucking, like just all the stuff, the different the spaceships, all of it. It would have been super cool, but this is I'm doing a terrible job of selling this film. Go ahead.
I have a better answer for you. So, to no one's surprise, I do keep lists of my favorite movies in different genres than just horror. So, I did go to my comedy section. And a lot of them are not brainless humor. It's like The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, for example, or Swiss Army Man is on here. Murder by Death is great. So I was like, which of these are just dumb, mindless comedies that have no other value? And you're going to be mad at some of my answers, but I did find a couple. One of them, I wish I didn't like this movie, but I've watched it a lot and I've listened to the music a lot. 8 Crazy Nights, Adam Sandler's fucking Hanukkah animated movie. That movie cracks me up, and I wish it didn't. Like, one of the characters is just an old guy where one of his feet is bigger than the other, and that's the running joke throughout the entire fucking movie, and I love it. That is definitely, there's no value, but it makes me laugh every time. And then another one, like, oh, this one doesn't give me nostalgia. I saw it as an adult, but obviously Lost Skeleton of Cadavra is so fucking funny and mindless. I also have Porky's 2 The Next Day, which I think would be
what?
Yeah, that one is mindless, dumb stuff.
It's just so random.
It's better than the first one. I like Porky's. But Porky's 2 The Next Day, one of those times where the sequel is better than the original. So I had to go look at my list of comedic films. Oh my God, Howard the Duck, by the way. Howard the Duck's on this list.
Howard the Duck.
I know. Why do people hate it so much?
Fucking great. Howard the Duck is the same kind of awesome that this movie is.
You know, I while I was watching this, because the little boy is a duck, I did have I was drawing parallels of like, God, I wish I was watching Howard the Duck right now.
It is a fun movie.
I do like Howard the Duck.
When a vastly superior alien culture comes all this way to take over your world, certain basic laws of planetary conquest apply. For example, when someone points a quad-vectored hypothermic cosmoblaster at you, it's a fair bet you are about to become toast. Will you please sit down and be quiet? Or perhaps, in your case, a whole loaf of toast. Okay, that was kind of a body-shaming fat joke, but it's fucking...
I do think being compared to a loaf of bread is funny, though.
Toast.
It doesn't even matter what your body looks like. No. You could be like super skinny. You could be incredibly athletic and bulky. There's nobody who looks like a loaf of bread. And so I don't think it's body shaming, because like, who the fuck is like a weird rectangle cube mushiness? Nobody looks like that. It's fine.
Let me sum up the entire situation in a nutshell. There are 5 of us and 4 billion of them. They have Strategic Air Command, nuclear-powered submarines, and John Wayne. We have...
I did like that line. I did like that because and John Wayne, that did crack me up a little bit, but
all right,
not
children,
out loud.
Look both ways before crossing the street. Oh, if only Captain Blippo had known. Captain Bipto, excuse me.
I wish I found this funny. I wish I did. I think what I'm gonna do is when I don't have a lot of pressure to find it funny, I'm gonna go rewatch it in like several months or a year, and then I'll report back. And I'm not gonna tell anybody. And then if I still don't find it funny, I never have to say anything to anyone. I thought it was a fun movie. I don't think I like comedy in the way that I thought I did, and that's kind of a disappointment to myself.
Where do you guys grow your wrench Muellers? How does that meet us at the wrench Mueller farm? Where do you... How does that not make you laugh? I don't... Oh...
I don't know. The more you talk, the more I'm kind of on Roger Ebert's side.
I will slap you. I will reach.
I don't understand why people like mindless entertainment, because movies are supposed to be entertaining.
Why would Mars want to attack the puny, insignificant forces of Earth? Because we'd win.
You know what else is a really good comedy that has absolutely no value besides making you laugh?
What's that?
Rocket Man.
Rocket Man,
and not the more recent one with Taron Egerton, whatever. The one from 1997 starring Harland Williams.
I don't even know what you're talking about right now.
Holy shit. I think space comedy movies, Rocket Man is my Spaced Invaders. It's so fucking dumb. At one point, and it actually takes place on Mars. Holy shit, now that I'm realizing. But at one point, Harland Williams is walking around in a suit on Mars, and he's farting, but trying not to like let anybody see. And his suit is just blowing up and up and up, and he's trying to. It's so fucking dumb. There's a monkey. It's because he's accidentally chosen to go to Mars and he's not smart enough, but they send him anyway. And then he's supposed to be in some sort of like stasis and asleep, but he doesn't go into his chamber correctly. So then he wakes up after just like an hour, and now he has to be awake by himself on the spaceship until they get to Mars.
Oh, God.
It's a dumb fucking movie. Like I said, no value to the world. And that would be my Spaced Invaders. Harlan Williams just farting into a spacesuit that blows up slower and slower while trying to claim that he's not farting while connected to another man who can see him blowing up and is trying to take the hose connecting them, and he can see the fart coming, and he's trying to hold the hose so that Harlan Williams' fart doesn't reach him. Yeah.
Harlan Williams in a fart. Why am I yawning, Michelle? That's not a good sign. We have another one of these yet to do.
Well, Harlan Williams in a fart spacesuit. You have to watch that since you made me watch Spaced Invaders.
A thing I just learned is Patrick Reed Johnson, the guy who directed this film and also wrote this film, he didn't direct, but he wrote a movie from 1996 called Dragonheart. Did you ever see Dragonheart, Michelle?
No, I'm thinking of Reign of Fire. I have not seen it.
Yeah, that's way later, yeah. Dragonheart was a big deal because it was like one of the first, like, the dragon animation in it is entirely computer generated, and it's very, very, like, I mean, you look at it now and it's nothing compared to what they're doing these days. Well, what some people are doing these days. Marvel, get your fucking act together. But anyway, it was a big deal at the time because it was this incredibly elaborate digital inserted animation, and it's a pretty good movie. You might want to check it out. It's a good time. It's about a dragon. That's why it's called Dragonheart.
Is it about the dragon's heart?
Yes, in fact, it is.
Cardiac
it
movie?
Is. It
Ooh,
does,
Dennis
in fact,
Quaid.
involve the dragon's heart. Yes.
Oh, I love Dennis Quaid's son, so maybe I'll like this.
Who's his son?
Somebody Quaid. He's the guy from The Boys. His name I just forgot, but whose face I can picture perfectly.
I thought you were about to say Randy Quaid, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking
not
about.
Randy? No, not Randy.
Quaid is a different Quaid entirely.
Now I gotta go. IMDb.
Jack. His name is Jack.
Yes, he's the boy from The Boys.
Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan.
Yeah. Well,
anyway,
I'm tired now. I just want to go watch Harlan Williams fart into a suit, and I'm gonna go see if that's on YouTube, and I'm gonna send it to you. But when you click it, it is going to be the Korn cover of Nightmare Before Christmas.
No, never clicking another YouTube link you send me ever again, Michelle. Not gonna happen. Not ever gonna do it. So
I'm
anyway,
Googling
guys,
Rocket Man fart scene. Oh my god, I found it. Okay.
Go check out
oh my god,
Invaders.
And it's on YouTube, and it shows that I've watched it before.
Here's what's wild about that is my immediate reaction is, Michelle, don't you periodically clear your viewing history?
No.
And then I realized, no, you fucking weirdo. You're the only one who does that on a regular basis.
Yep.
That's probably something I should talk to my therapist about.
Yeah.
And we got there. Therapy portion. That was it, though. That's it.
That's so good.
No, I think you'll have some of you will have a good time with this movie. Some of you, I guess, maybe won't be totally thrilled with it, but you'll still have kind of a good time. I still think Michelle is just trying to stop me from yelling at her, but that's because I assume badly about everything. I know.
I really like the voice actors and the alien design. I like the aliens. I just don't think they're funny. Here's what they are. They're those people / aliens that I would hang out with, and they would make jokes, and I would laugh politely, but never actually get the humor. I mean, I'd get it, but I'd be like, nah, okay. But I would never want to hurt their feelings. That's the comedy of this for me.
Here's the part that doesn't register for me and that will never make sense is you say that you like them, you just don't think they're funny, but how funny they are is clearly the biggest reason to like them.
No, I just think they're fun to watch.
All right, I'll leave you alone. This is 2 in a row, Michelle. 2 in a row.
I know. I'm realizing that I just might not be a very fun person.
No,
I
think
want
I might
gore.
I think I might just have far too much attachment to my 8 to 10-year-old self.
Space Invaders would have been really, really good if it had some body horror.
I needed
body horror.
So Space Invaders needed body horror, and Ernest Scared
and at least
Stupid
one child
needed
death.
child abuse and murder. Okay.
Yeah, the duck definitely needed to die because I did feel an emotional connection to him. He was very funny.
Say good night, Michelle.
Good night, Michelle.
For more horror content, visit WeWatchShutter.com, where you'll find our world-famous, patent-pending Ghoul blog and Squelch files, as well as a schedule of upcoming episodes. Find us on social media at WeWatchShutter on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and I guess Twitter if you're still doing that for whatever reason. You can email us. mail@WeWatchShutter.com is the address. mail@WeWatchShutter.com. You can even call and leave us a voicemail, 701-566-9510. No, really. 701-566-9510. Give it a shot. See what happens. We Watch Shutter is a production of Rat Factory Media.